12 News is your local election headquarters. Now, we continue our Where They Stand series on WPRI.com and our 12 Plus Smart TV app. I'm Ray Bakari. Joining me today is Manny Taveras, who is one of 4 Democrats running in the State Senate District 4 special election this summer. The seat opened up after Senate President Dominic Ruggiero died in April, and the district itself contains all of North Providence and a tiny sliver of Providence. Manny, it's good to have you here.
Thank you for having me.
And for those watching, explain a little bit about yourself and why you're seeking the State Senate seat.
Sure. My name is Manny Taveras, and I'm running for State Senate District 4. I'm running for this seat because I've been a lifelong Rhode Island resident. I'm a product of the public schools. I have 3 kids, plus 2 bonus kids as well, too. Not biologically mine, but I certainly consider an influence in their lives. And I've been watching all the news, all the headlines, and I really want to be a generational hope for all those coming forward and coming after me. People are expressing a lot of concerns with what they're seeing at the state level, at the town level, and at the federal level. And they are ripe and ready to see a new change and a new voice come forward. I've been contemplating politics my entire life. I've been talking about local seats, councilman seats from when I lived in Providence and I was raising my family there, to now moving over to the North Providence side. This is a great opportunity to finally throw my hat in the ring and be that representative voice and be an advocate for these working class families that understand what it's like to go through what I've gone through growing up.
Let's talk some policy. One of the bigger bills that was focused on this legislative session, and just a full disclosure for those watching, we are taping this on what's the last day of this year's legislative session and before the primary. The ban on so-called assault-style weapons. Right now, we're at the point where there's 2 versions. There's that Senate version and the House version. They kind of differentiate on if there should be a ban on manufacturing, buying, and selling and owning, or should there just be a ban on selling, buying and manufacturing, but still being able to own the weapons. Where do you stand on this?
Yeah, I can tell you from personal experience, having 3 kids, gone through the public school system, having 2 more that are in it right now. This is a really, really big heart issue for me. I've been thinking about this as a parent, having experience seeing my kids sort of go through lockdown drills and talk about that experience. It really tugs at my heartstrings, knowing that this is a very real case scenario. And when we look at the facts and we see what's been common in all these shootings, I am in support of the assault weapons ban. I know right now, from where we stand from a legislative perspective, the core issue of not allowing the sale of these assault-style weapons, I think if we can keep that, then we're taking a step in the right direction. If I was in office right now, I would vote to ban the sale of these weapons.
And if the assault-style weapons is considered the biggest piece of legislation, or at least let's say second, because the biggest one is the budget every year, both in terms of price tag and the contents of it. The budget is looking at $14.3 billion as of right now. It's about to pass the Senate. It passed the House previously, based on the time we're taping this. There's always those like built-in deficits and concerns about how the budget balloons from year to year. Right. So if you can give me one thing, because some say cut spending, some say raise taxes on the wealthy, what would you favor to try to fix those budgetary issues we see year to year?
Yeah, I've spent the last 15 years in the healthcare space from a professional capacity, managing budgets and setting goals and making sure we can prioritize smart movements over time. So I'm very familiar with budgets like this, where even though we've done a great job of keeping core services going, there's still room for improvement or room to make investments for things in the future. I give kudos to where the budget stands right now, and I'm very happy that at least we're funding a lot of the core services, whether it's libraries, we're looking at educational aid that still stays in place. Those are really good. I'm happy to see that RIPTA was also included in this. We didn't get to complete the full deficit amount, but we certainly made a significant impact. That's a really important core service. I would have loved to have seen a millionaire's tax. I definitely would have been in support of that. One of the things that's incredible about Senate District 4 and the constituents as I knock door to door is that you're looking at families that have serviced Rhode Island in a capacity of either a union worker, a police officer, a healthcare worker, in a teacher, in a lot of different ways, and they've been in that role for 30 plus years, have retired in that role, but yet they still are concerned about these core services. They're very much concerned about doing the right thing. I would have loved to see millionaire's tax to help sort of patch in on some, in some of these areas, and also the ban on smoking at Bally's would have been a very big thing. That's another thing I consistently hear on the campaign trail. Folks want to do the right thing for all the workers, not just at the convenience of the patrons that are in that place.
Although it's a little bit of a smaller part of the district, Providence is in the district, and Providence is having its own issues with the budget right now that has to pass by July 1st, mainly because there was an unforeseen $15 million expense that stemmed out of a lawsuit that the city had with the school district. So as a result, Mayor Smiley is asking lawmakers to pass a bill that would let the city of Providence increase taxes above that 4% cap, but no higher than 8%. So I'm going to start off, I'm going to do a two-parter. The first one, how would you have voted on that bill?
I would support it. I would support an increase on the tax levy.
And then the second half is because there's a debate about what could the city have done maybe to not get in this situation fiscally. Is there anything the city could have done differently in your opinion?
Right now in this race, I am the only candidate that has experience on both sides, right? From the Providence side, born and raised, and I still own rental property in the Providence side, to now owning a property and living on the North Providence side. This issue is important. And I also believe in paying my fair share and helping folks out. So I would support this. I know that the city is faced with multiple deficits, and the biggest driver in this case is the state ordered and court ordered issue that they have to fill in. But it would have, the other side of this would have been cutting a lot of city services. It would have been cutting a lot of important things for individuals on the Providence side. Even though it's a small sliver, it's still very, very important, and it's important to be the candidate that can speak to both sides and connect, not just with North Providence, but also with the Providence individuals as well.
So kind of get back to the whole point of that question. Is there anything the city could have done differently in terms of their finances to have avoided getting to the point where $15 million out of nowhere caused a tax increase this high?
Yeah, I know there were several examples that were brought up of different ways that they could have managed it. I think where I stand right now, I'm more concerned about what we can't go back and change things. This is an immediate crisis that we're faced with right now in a current moment. I understand why we're doing this, and I think the city will be more accountable in understanding, all these different areas that have been brought up. I know Representative Morales has been very vocal on bringing up a lot of these things. So I think now is the time, even though we can do the immediate fix and making sure that we increase the tax levies, but it is very important that we start to look at all areas to make sure that it's sustainable over time.
And for my final question, this might be up your alley since you come from the healthcare background. The state's facing a big crisis when it comes to healthcare. It's caught the attention of state leaders. Fatima, a hospital that's in this district that the election's happening in, has been affected. Anchor Medical shut down. Community health centers in Providence also shut down. And a big part that folks argue is due to the low Medicaid reimbursement rates. So whether it's that or anything else that lawmakers haven't floated, what does the GA need to do to fix the crisis?
Yeah, this is a multi-level fix. We need to fix this system in its entirety. There are multiple parts to this system, from my personal experience in a professional capacity, that really impact the care of it all. I think where we should start to focus in, and I'm glad that the budget has some increase in some of the reimbursement rates for a temporary fix, right, from where we're going, and we're going to continue to evaluate it. I would love to see our healthcare system to go more into focusing in on the outcomes-based approach, and to keep it very simple without getting into too complex of a detail. Right now, the structure is based off of a fee-based schedule, and doctors are making sure they hit certain number of fees, right? I want them to practice at the top of their license and be able to decide what's right for each individual patient that they have and how they can service them, and have more of an incentive for the outcomes and the number of people that they serve and the communities that they serve and how effectively they do it, rather than trying to worry about making sure that they hit all the right number of services just to keep the lights on. So there are better and smarter ways that we can do this. It's not just continuously increasing the rate. That helps for now. But in order to keep talent here long term, we're going to have to really change the way we look at healthcare and how we prioritize healthcare.
That's all the questions I had, Manny. I appreciate you coming down and giving us your time for this.
Yeah, thank you again for having me. And I hope that during this election, we start to make a difference with our voices. So I really encourage everyone to come out and vote and participate. Ray, thank you again for doing this.
Anytime. And thank you for tuning into this edition of Where They Stand. Remember, 12 News is your local election headquarters. We have all the other candidate interviews available on WPRI.com and our 12 Plus Smart TV app. For now, Ray Bakari,